In today's video, I'm going to be answering some juicy dating questions that I know that has been burning. Every girl has a story like this. Every girl has a question like this. And I am so excited to put in my 2 cents, share my opinion on these topics. But before we jump right into the video, if you're new on this channel, never seen my face before, hi girl, my name is Lucy. I always say to stay subscribed because we have a good time on this channel. On this channel, I make self-development, self-improvement, a sprinkle of lifestyle videos here and there. So you see behind the scenes of my life. Stay, subscribe. I also make videos on TikTok and Instagram. I'm going to have those linked below. Go ahead and follow me on there. Without further ado, let's jump right into the video. It's been a very long time I sat here in this style and made a video, and I don't know why. I'm so happy about, well, I know why I'm happy about it, but it feels good to do the things that you used to do in the way that you used to do it, if that makes sense. Whenever you see my head looking like a head egg, you already know that we're about to have a chit chat video while I install my hair. And before we even do anything, let me just double check if my mic is on, because the last 2 videos, horrible. My mic wasn't plugged in. I had no idea, and the audio was so bad. A few of you that pointed it out in my last video, the ones that were a little bit cute about it, thank you for pointing it and noticing it. But the ones that were shading me for it, you know yourselves, and God's watching you. God is watching you. Double checked, mic is plugged. Let's get into it, right? The wig that I'm going to be working on today, or working with today, is from RPGSHOW. If you know anything about RPGSHOW, you know that they deliver luxury wigs. Full-on already done wigs, customized, bleached, colored, lace done. Everything just looks perfect and luxury for an affordable price. They also make sure they give you extra in the box. They give much more than you'd expect from any other hair company, if I'm being honest. From the right color of the wig cap, the edge band. They also give you a little kit. You already know you're dealing with a brand that cares. Like, this is a wig storage bag or something like that. If you've ever seen an RPG hair wig, it always looks like it's handmade and handpicked directly for you. I'm working with an ombre chestnut brown wig today because it is summer and I want to do something a little bit different with my hair. This wig came pre-bleached, pre-plucked. The lace is amazing. There's a new technique of lace that sits properly with your, your hairline, because sometimes you could have the flip up, if you know what I mean. This is the inside of the wig, bleached to perfection. It comes with the strap as well. I love me some RPGSHOW. Like, you cannot tell me nothing. The color is given, I went to a salon. Like, it's given, I actually went to a salon to get some highlights in my hair. While I install my hair, I'm going to be answering a few dating questions. They are most popular with women in their 20s and early 30s in our current generation, our modern dating. These are questions that I have compiled and I want to give context and also my opinion on what I think. These are also relatable questions that I know that everyone will benefit from, because we're all struggling through the chaos and craziness of modern dating in 2025. The first question is, why do situationships hurt more than real relationships? Because there's no clarity and closure. Having someone that you're dealing with without labels or title is not a flex. It doesn't make you a hard guy. It doesn't make you a hard woman. It doesn't make you a dating beast. It does not make you tough. You don't have a stamp of honor being in a situationship and not caring about it. And to be honest with you, majority of the people that say, especially women, that say they don't care, they don't feel anything, they're also going with the flow the same way the men are going with the flow, are lying. One of the main reasons why it's hard for you to get over a situationship as opposed to actually getting over a breakup, like an actual relationship breakup, it's because of the mess that it is or was in the first place. Contrary to what you might think, you're more emotionally invested than when you're in an actual relationship. Shocker, right? Crazy, right? What you don't know is the roller coaster of what it is, the dynamic that you have makes you a bit more invested emotionally on how it's going to go, what it is, than you actually realize. So when it ends, there are a lot of emotions that you feel. First, you grieve what would have been. That's why it hurts so much. You didn't have clarity, you didn't have a title, you're not going to have closure. You might have actually thought in your head that things will pan out a little bit different from how it eventually did. That's why it hurts. You lose a lot of yourself dealing with someone in such a dynamic. There are so much emotions that go into being in a situationship that you actually don't want to deal with as a person. At that time, you get to realize that you were not as out of touch, emotionally unavailable in the relationship or situationship as you thought you were. You start to think of, oh my God, did I just disrespect myself? You feel disgusted, you feel used, you feel abandoned, you feel not chosen, you feel like your time was wasted. And to be honest, your time actually was wasted. Modern dating will tell you to go with the flow and not be a needy girlfriend, and not be the girl that is so emotionally attached or wants to know more, is asking questions like, what are we, how are we, what am I doing? You don't want to come off as an anxious babe looking for a relationship. You want to act cold. You want to, put up a front so he doesn't see you as weak. You accepting to be in a situation with him is enough for him to see you as weak. In fact, that alone completely takes it from up here to down on the floor. I've seen some cases that they typically transition from that and then get into something serious, or they get married eventually, but believe me, it takes a lot of work, and it also took some disconnecting at some point to actually come back and do things the right way. You wanted to be perceived as strong, mysterious, cold-hearted, all of that, but that's not who you truly are, and that's the reason why it hurts. The next question is, how do I know if he actually likes me or just enjoys my energy? Watch what he does consistently and not just what he says. If he enjoys your presence but doesn't make space for you in it, like practical space, emotionally, physically, you don't see any progress, he doesn't ask for more when it comes to, doing things with you, going places with you, stepping out from the norm, there is no progress in your relationship or your situation, then he might just like the feeling of you and not you, if that makes sense. If I were you in this situation, I'll be more conscious from this day on the actions he takes towards your relationship. Is he pushing for the next phase? You need to make sure that you're actually moving in the right pace and you're doing the things that you're supposed to do. You're not static, like you're not just in a stagnant position. A perfect example of this is someone that you spend a lot of time with, you flirt, he does what he's supposed to do in terms of like, giving you compliments, liking your story, watching your story, sometimes he actually buys you gifts, it's okay, but there's just nothing that creates depth to that connection. He's not initiating plans as per like, really going out in public to do things by yourselves or to do things with his friends or do things with your friends. He's not saying things like, oh my God, I hear you talk about Kate a lot, like the best friend of yours, like I'd like to meet her. So you need to just watch what he does consistently than what he says. I think he's more into emotional entertainment as opposed to a true emotional connection. So you have your answer right there. Is it wrong to want soft love but still have high standards? You can be gentle and be discerning at the same time. I don't know where this narrative came from. Everyone just has this idea that they have to be strong, powerful. When you show weakness in relationships and connections with men especially, you're actually selling off your dignity or your self-esteem. Look, you can be both. You can be nurturing, you can be a sweet, soft, calm woman, the woman that he looks at and is just like, oh my God, she's so peaceful, unproblematic, all of that. You can be that, but then still also hold him accountable for the things that he says that he's going to do. You could have both. You should be who you truly are, who you want to be, the kind of girlfriend that you are, the kind of woman that you want to be towards your relationships. You can definitely be that, but then also still have an angle to you that does not accept disrespect, does not accept nonsense from people, does not take rubbish from a relationship, hold people accountable. You can be gentle, peaceful, quiet, but then still expect loyalty, expect respect, expect consistency, princess treatment, expect him to be the man that he says he's going to be when you guys are in a relationship. Why do guys I want never want me and the ones I don't like won't leave me alone? We always kiki about it whenever we hear questions like this. I think there's an angle that a lot of people are not really deeping, and I know that it's a very light-hearted question. The reason why the ones that you want don't want you back is because you might be attracted to emotionally unavailable people. That is reflected through your patterns. So you attract that because you might have that in you. My attachment style is a fearful avoidant. So I am both anxious and avoidant. I lean avoidant most times, but then I have the tendencies to also be anxious. One thing about us as human beings, especially as women, we tend to focus more on who the other person is, what the other person does or does not do, and then we forget about what we are, who we are, what we do, what we like, our behavior patterns, and just how we live our lives, right? What we truly think. Why do you find this person attractive? That's the first question you should ask yourself. This person that you really want so bad, I want you to sit down and ask yourself, why do you really like this person? 9 times out of 10, you realize that the reason why you like them is because they don't like you. And that's not a good thing. That just means that you have an abandonment wound. You have avoidant tendencies. Obviously, that's not a good thing and should be worked on. When people dwell on, you know, a man not texting them back or not liking them, or a man not doing this or a man not doing that, they just focus on him not doing this, him not liking me, him not doing this. We don't stop to think for a second, like, do I actually like this person? I always say to a lot of people, right, when you focus so much on what someone is doing and what someone is not doing, that tells a lot about you, because you're focusing on the fact that something isn't going right. But then if things were going right, you might not feel the need to want them, or you might not feel this urge to be with them if they actually wanted you. You have to think about your own attachment style. That would answer majority of your dating questions or solve majority of your dating struggles. And then the one that is really chasing you, that sees that you don't want them, but that's fuel for them to keep going, that one has like a serious anxious attachment style that needs to be dealt with. A majority of the time are not chasing you for the right reason. So they might also be dealing with their own issues, because no secure person would chase someone the way that that person is chasing you. And let's be honest, men with correct heads on their shoulders actually do not chase like animals. They don't. Should I text him first or just let him go? I am guessing this is when you're in like a no contact phase with someone. My answer is quite simple for this one. If texting him gives you peace, it serves a purpose in your heart that makes you relaxed or at peace, then do it. If you're texting him to get a reaction out of him, or you're trying to fix something, you want to step in and fix the situation, I want you to take a pause. And typically when you start asking questions like this, you've done this a couple times before, and you really want him to step forward, you want to give someone space to feel your absence. You want to give them space to actually make the right decisions for themselves as well, if they really want the relationship or the connection or not. And someone who truly wants the relationship or the connection would reach out to you to kind of work things out. If you're the only one reaching out, trying to fix things, trying to mend what is broken, trying to rebuild, you're going to keep doing that. And what that does for the other person is train them to always wait for you to come to the rescue. You train them to be okay with taking the back seat and just letting you lead. Especially as a woman, that is very painful. When you start taking up that role that he's supposed to fill, you rob yourself of the experience of being a woman in that relationship. If you've been the one carrying the relationship emotionally, physically, all of it, and you just want him to step up, then give him the space and the chance to. That space will tell you everything you need to know. What's the difference between love bombing and genuine interest? This is so short and simple. Love bombing is fast. Very, 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 very fast. And this is not to say that, you know, when someone is taking their sweet time to determine what they want from you, that's not a red flag. That's definitely a red flag. But you need to also determine what is too quick and what is just enough. What is the appropriate pace? Love bombing is typically so elaborate. They say the right things. Before you even blink, they've told you what you would expect. They come in here with promises. They have the right lines. When a man is using like some certain terms, I can tell that they rehearsed it. They think that's what you want to hear. So they're telling you because it's popular, that's the trend, that's what people are doing nowadays with dating, that's what people are saying nowadays to get girls to, you know, fall for them, and that's what girls like. You've only known each other for 1 week, a couple of days, 2 weeks, they're in love with you, they already see their future with you, they want you to meet their family, they want you to do this, they want you to do that, and the gestures are the ones that really throw me off. I love princess treatment, I love the gifts, I love flowers, I love thoughtfulness, I love all of that. But when you're doing too much, that's a sign for me to be like, okay, yeah, you don't like me. Like, you just think this is something that I would like, and that's just you trying to hasten my emotions towards you. You want me to quickly fall and get in program. You want me to completely get swept away. So the pace is one of the ways to tell between genuine interest and love bombing. Genuine interest, it is not fast, it's also not slow, but in the right pace. You're taking your time to know someone, you are educating them about certain things, they're educating you about certain things. How do I stop attracting emotionally unavailable men? Honestly, I want to make a whole video about this, but I'm going to keep it short. The first work that goes into attracting the right kind of man man that you'd like is the inner work within yourself, like healing your own wounds, understanding your attachment style. Your attachment wounds, your attachment styles tells you so much about your dating life. Like, you'd be so shocked. So there are so many times you feel a closeness to someone, not because they have something special, but they actually have a part in you that feels familiar. To attract the right kind of partner, you need to start working on yourself. Look inwards out. Sometimes what you truly want, when you have it, you don't recognize it because it doesn't feel familiar, it doesn't feel safe. What feels safe and familiar to you is chaos, fake mystery, avoidance, inconsistency. That's what you've been dealing with. That's what you're used to. That's what feels right because you yourself have the same wounds, the same attachments. That's what you're used to. When a healthy relationship comes up, a healthy man comes in, you don't feel good. It feels boring to you. How do you know what love is? Because you haven't done the work on yourself. Good recognizes good. The work that truly needs to be done is not on someone else but you. By the time you start knowing what it means to be on the other side, you start to appreciate it. Your nervous system gets accustomed to that. So when that's around you, it's easy to spot it, and something opposite from that will irritate you. Do men actually care about femininity, or do they just want submission? The right man for you, a good healthy man, would always thank you for expressing emotions, for telling him how you feel. They would see you expressing emotions as one of the strongest things that any human being can do. The opposite of that is a man who wants control. And I want you to know the difference. A man who wants control and a man who wants connection. A man who wants connection would appreciate your soft side. He will appreciate your emotions. He will appreciate times that you open up. The one that wants control, you hear things from him like, "You're too much. You're too emotional. Oh my God, like put it together. Like when you just start showing emotions, I just don't know how to handle it." That's the one who wants control. And I can also recognize that there are times where we only know how to be emotional to be manipulative in situations. And I know exactly what I'm talking about, and I'm pretty sure you do know as well. We tend to be emotional just to win an argument or to escape taking accountability. I'm not talking about that. That's a real thing, by the way. And that's why you also have to be self-aware, because that can drain a human being out to a point where your emotions now become a burden in the relationship. You don't want to get to a point where, or the only way you can express dissatisfaction or express emotions is by crying. Realistically, first time you ever cried, somebody's getting irritated because you are crying. You should run away from that man. The hair comes already layered, so you don't have to add layers yourself, which is quite amazing. Is it too much to want loyalty, effort, and emotional maturity? No. These are bare minimum. And if it's too much, if you feel like you're asking for too much, you're simply asking the wrong person. How do I know if I'm the toxic one? The only way to know if you're the toxic one or if you're the problem in your relationship is by self-reflecting. Having an accountability partner, the one that has the right head on their shoulder. If you don't want people in your personal life to be in your business, then you can get a therapist. You will definitely know if you have issues that you need to deal with or if you're the problem in your relationship. Am I having the right expectation of my partner? Does my action align with my words? Do I take accountability? The things I expect of other people, and especially this man, am I even giving it in any capacity in this relationship? The way I say I am not happy with him, is he happy with me? He's not speaking, he's not doing this, he's not communicating the way you want to communicate. That could be a him problem or a problem that he's dealing with personally. Or it could also be that you've turned out to not be a safe space for him because the kind of idea that you both went into that relationship with has completely shifted on your end. You need to sit and reflect on who you are, what you truly want, what your true expectations are, how you are in the relationship. It's not always about somebody else. The level of commitment I expect someone to have towards me, do I have that? Am I leading by example? Self-reflection is where you're actually going to get the best answer. So this is the final look for the wig. Oh my God, it's giving effortless beauty, effortless coils. This is how the lace came out. This is how the hair looks. I'm going to have a direct link to this wig down below. Highly recommend that you check them out. And now that's pretty much everything that I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the video in the comment section below. Follow me on my socials as per usual. They are linked below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye. Those of you that are listening in your car, at your job, you at home, I don't care where you at. Turn this up right now because we're about to go in. Hey,